name is Alex. I work for the ICI, where I research the historical materials that you use in your History classes. I am also responsible for the education and educational materials of the Youth Culture Core, or 청소년 문화단. These are the youth tour guides who you can see providing free English tour for foreigners in places like Gyeongbuk-do, Changdeok-gung, Doksu-gung, Namsan Hanok Village, or Sodaemun Yeonmuso. Today, we will have a special trip to 성균관. What is 성균관? Yes, it is a name of a university. However, it is also the top-notch educational institute of Joseon dynasty. As you know, in order to become an official, education was very important during Joseon times, and this is what 성균관 was for. Are you ready for the class? Great, let's go! Before we start, let's talk about Confucianism. What do you know about it? Okay, let's start from the beginning. In the East Asian beliefs, and I mean China, Korea, Japan or Vietnam, the most important thing was the heavens. People believed that the earth also works according to the heavens' rules. Confucianism is one of those religious ideologies that shows the people how to behave according to the heavens' will. If someone did not behave like that, it was considered to be unnatural and unacceptable. So, how does Confucianism and 성균관 link up? I will tell you. First, let's talk about what Confucianism is. What did you hear about it? Confucianism is an idea that was born in China in the spring and autumn period long time ago. This idea was made by a man named Confucius or Kungfuzi or Hongjia. This idea says that everyone on the earth should behave according to the heavens' rule. If they don't behave like that, it's considered to be unnatural and unacceptable. How does Confucianism come to picture with Joseon dynasty? Let me tell you. As you know, the main religion of Goryeo dynasty was Buddhism. You might have also read that the main idea or religion of Joseon dynasty became Confucianism. How did this change come to be? Do you remember who was the person who established Joseon dynasty? Yes, it was General Yi Song-hae. General Yi Song-hae himself was a Buddhist, but the people who helped him making the new country were all Confucianists. His right-hand man was one of the most famous Goryeo Confucianist scholar, Chong Do-jeon. Now you can see why, when Yi Song-hae made the new country and proclaimed himself king, he chose the ideology of his main helpers as the main religion of the country. Now, let's go inside 성균관. There are two important stones in front of 성균관. The first one is Hamabi. We have to understand that 성균관 was a highly respected place in Joseon dynasty. Thus, if high-level people or even the king wanted to enter the 성균관, they had to get off their horse or palanquin. This stone, B, was telling people to get off, Ha, their horse, Ma. So, Ha, Ma, B means a stone that tells you to get off your horse. The second important stone is Hampyeongbi. This stone was put here in the 18th century by King Yeongjo. In this time, officials made a lot of small groups and they were fighting with each other. King Yeongjo wanted them to join forces and work together. And this is what the message in this stone is saying. Now, let's go inside the 성균관 and see what is in there. Let's go. You might notice that the entrance to Songkyung-kwan is quite unique. Namely, it's 3 doors, with the middle one being bigger than the ones on the side. Also, this middle one was closed for most of the year. Why? In Confucianism, the most important thing was the respect towards our ancestors. People believed that the spirits of the ancestors are coming through this door into the Songkyung-kwan. That's why this door was only open twice a year during the ceremonies for the ancestral spirits. Songkyung-kwan was not only an educational institute but also a Confucian shrine. What you see behind me is the building called Taesongjeon. In this building you could find the spirit tablets of Confucius, all the famous Confucian scholars of China, as well as the Confucian scholars of Korean history, starting from the unified Shilla period until Joseon. This place served as the main place for Munmyo Cherye. Munmyo is the name of the Confucian shrine here. Munmyo Cherye is the name of the ritual that commemorated Confucius and his followers. There were 2 Munmyo Cheryes in 1 year. The first one was in the spring. This one commemorated the birthday of Confucius. The second one was in the autumn, and this one commemorated the death day of Confucius. The main ideology behind the Songkyung-kwan's education system was actually Neo-Confucianism. In Korean, we call it Songnihak. What is the difference between Confucianism and Neo-Confucianism, you ask? Neo-Confucianism is a part of Confucianism which is more practical. It means that it focuses less on rituals and theories, and it considers more important things like how to lead the country based on Confucianism, or how to make a society based on these rules. The most famous scholar of Neo-Confucianism was a Chinese scholar of the Song dynasty called Chu Xi, or as you might know him, Chu Jia. In Taesongjeon, you can also see the spirit tablets of 2 famous Joseon scholars. These scholars you can meet if you just look into your purse. On the 1000 won bill, you can see the face of Yi Huang. Yi Huang was one of the most famous Neo-Confucian scholars of Joseon, and he wrote a lot of books about this ideology. If you look at 5000 won bill, you can see Yi Yi. Yi Yi was the son of the famous female poet Shimsa Imdang. He was a politician and a very practical man. He advised the king about how to improve Joseon. For example, he was one of those who have foreseen the Imjin Wars, and he advised the king about training Joseon military to be stronger when the Japanese come. I'm pretty sure you know what's a chesa. Yes, chesa is rituals for our ancestors. The Munmyo Cherye ritual was essentially a very big chesa, so it required a lot of preparations. There are separate buildings in Songkyung-kwan only for these preparations. Behind me you can see the Chegigo, which was a storehouse for all the equipment that was required for this ritual. This, behind me, is Chonsachong, the building where the actual preparations, like cooking the food, took place. Another important goal of Songkyung-kwan, of course, was education. When we talk about Yangban, we often say that they were those who were fighting and they were those who were studying. But never forget, we always have to say, why did they study? What was their goal? Well, for these Yangban, the goal was to pass the Hwago Shihom, or civil service exam. If they passed this exam, they could work with the king as advisors. So in a way, they were similar as today's politicians. They studied in this part of Songkyung-kwan. If you wanted to become a royal advisor, you had to know many things. First of all, you had to know all the Confucian books. Second, you had to know how to read Chinese characters. Because of this, studying for this exam was extremely hard. Let's see the place where they studied Confucianism. Behind me, you can see Myeongyundan, which was the main lecture hall of Songkyung-kwan. Myeongyun means to illuminate the ethics. This building has 3 parts. The middle part was actually where the lectures happened. On the sides, you can see 2 small rooms. These rooms were something very similar than the faculty room is in today's schools. In other words, those were the places where the teachers prepared the materials for teaching. On the open space in front of Myeongyundan, you can see old ginkgo trees. They are not here by accident. Ginkgo trees are an important symbol of Confucianism because people believed that Confucius taught his first disciples under a ginkgo tree. Thus, for the students of Songkyung-kwan to study under a ginkgo tree had a deep symbolical meaning. The students did not only study in Songkyung-kwan, they actually lived here as well. On the 2 sides of Myeongyundan, there are 2 long buildings. Dongjae is the eastern dorm, and Sojae is the western dormitory. In Dongjae, the eastern dormitory, the sons of the more powerful Noron nobles lived, while in Sojae, the sons of the less powerful nobles lived. The student life in Songkyung-kwan was extremely harsh, almost like in the military. They woke up every day at 6 o'clock to the sound of this drum. After this, they had to leave the room, greet each other, wash their faces, and go to eat. After the breakfast, their lessons started in Myeongyundan. Usually, they went to sleep at 10 o'clock in the night. Songkyung-kwan also had student associations called Chaehwe. These associations served to solve the everyday problems of students in the school life. The leader of the Chaehwe was called Changwi. There were actually 2 Changwis elected for both Dongjae and Sojae. The students of Songkyung-kwan did not only passively study, but often they actively contributed to politics. If the king did something that they didn't agree with, there were cases when the students of Songkyung-kwan would protest. The rooms of each dorm were for more than 1 people. Usually, 3 students lived in 1 room. The rooms, as you can see, have doors for 2 sides. One of them opens towards the Myeongyundan, the other one opens towards the restaurant. What you see behind me is the entrance to the Jinsa-shikdang, or the students' restaurant in Songkyung-kwan. The students in Songkyung-kwan had 2 meals per day, a breakfast and a dinner. But this building was much more than a restaurant. It was also a means to check the students' attendance. Each time a student ate breakfast and dinner, they would put a stamp in the attendance sheet of the Jinsa-shikdang. For each attendance, they earned 1 point. For a student to be eligible to take the state exams, he had to have at least 300 points of attendance in this attendance sheet. Succeeding in the civil service exams, Kwago-shihong, was extremely difficult. Many students took the test, but no matter how good they were, in the end only 33 of them could become state officials. Because of this, they required huge amount of preparation and very diligent study. But some of the students resulted to cheating. There were several methods of cheating during these exams. One was a classic. They would make small papers hidden in their clothes. These papers with the hints we call hyopso. Other students would go even further. They would hire a person called chashi, and this person would go and sit instead of them in the kwagoshihon. Cheating at kwagoshihon was a huge risk, because if you were discovered, you could never take the test again. Okay, this is about Songkyung-kwan for today. Did you enjoy the little tour? I hope so. I wish you a very nice day and hope to see you soon. Bye bye!